Brayan Bello's return is about to be a huge boost to the Red Sox starting rotation. Hear from him on today's Locked On Red Sox.
You are Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Red Sox, your daily Boston Red Sox podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Gabby Maljanian, former ESPN social media associate and current host of the Boston Balling podcast as well. And I am here to bring you the latest in all things Boston Red Sox, Monday through Friday straight to your favorite podcast feed. And the best part, it is free. So you might as well continue to tune in because Locked On is your team every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. Sounds cool, right? I know. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on today's show. But the Red Sox starting rotation has been plagued with injuries so far to start the season. And not even just the starting rotation, but also the bullpen has been hit with some injuries as well. And most recently, another starting pitcher has been sent to the injured list. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit later on today's show, as well as the messy series that the Red Sox had over the weekend against the Chicago White Sox. But speaking of pitchers and starters who have been plagued with injury so far this offseason heading into this campaign, Brayan Bello, a pitcher who the Red Sox have heavily relied on over the last few seasons to be a key piece of their starting rotation, ended up starting the season on the injured list. Now, the thing with Brayan Bello is that he hasn't always been super consistent. He's had times where he's been very good and nearly unhittable, and other times where he just has not been on. And when he's not on, he gets hit hard. And the thing with Bello going into this season that I want to see more of from him is incorporating that fastball into his arsenal, because in the first half of the season last year, he wasn't really utilizing the fastball a lot in his arsenal. And then in the second half of the season, he started mixing it in a little bit more, and it worked really well for him. And he was throwing a lot better in the second half overall than he was in the first half. So I'm hoping that that's something that he keeps in mind going into this upcoming season, and that he uses a similar approach. You're going to hear from Brayan Bello a little bit shortly here on today's show. So he threw a rehab start for the Worcester Red Sox on Friday night. He went 4 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 earned runs, 0 walks and 5 strikeouts, and 45 of his 64 pitches went for strikes. And he hit a fastball velocity of 98 miles an hour. So he definitely had the velocity there. The command was also certainly there too. He had 1 messy inning in which he gave up 3 runs, 2 of those being earned. But other than that, everything looked pretty clean and solid for him. Because the fact that the velocity and command were both pretty good, I'm guessing that it won't be much longer before he gets called back up. It feels like it's going to be 1 more rehab start for him. And then after that rehab start, he should be good to go, barring no major setbacks. Because overall, what I really liked about Bello's performance on Friday night, because I was there in Worcester and actually spoke to him after the fact, was that he was incorporating the fastball a lot, and he was getting lots of guys to swing and miss at it. And Brayan Bello hasn't always had the biggest swing and miss stuff. He has generated soft contact, which is something that he's really been known for throughout the course of his career so far as a strength of his, is that ground ball stuff, but he hasn't gotten tons of swings and misses, which he should be able to get more of going into this season if that fastball is consistently traveling around that 98 mile an hour mark. So I definitely want to see more of that from him. Overall, a positive performance. He looked like he was in total control out there. It didn't look like he was in any pain. And I just really liked the selection of pitches that he did use. He had a couple off-speed pitches that he incorporated in there pretty heavily as well. So lots of things to be excited about with Brayan Bello. And it's important for Red Sox fans to know that there are reinforcements coming whenever these pitchers are struggling, or if somebody ends up on the injured list. There are guys who are going to come and save the day. And Brayan Bello is going to be one of those guys. He's very excited to pitch this year at Fenway because he feels like the Red Sox are primed for success in 2025. Hopefully he's right. And I really enjoyed speaking with him and getting a feel for where he's at. So take a listen to that conversation.
Me sentí bien, gracias a Dios. Todos los bichos estuvieron funcionando muy bien. Algunos que me quedaron, pero me sentí bien físicamente y mentalmente y traté de hacer mi trabajo desde el primer picheo.
Yeah, I felt good. Obviously, a couple pitches left up in the play, but besides that, I felt very good. Physically and mentally, felt very good. I was trying to do my best since first pitch.
No sé, no me han dicho nada, pero yo me siento ready. Si ellos deciden que me tocará otra más en AAA, pues lo hago. Y si deciden que voy a estar lanzando para la próxima río, pues también lo hago. O sea, me siento bien, gracias a Dios.
Yeah, no, I don't know yet. If they decide that I need one more here in AAA, I'll do it. If they decide that I'm ready to pitch in the big league game, I'm also ready for it. So yeah, they haven't told me anything.
Creo que sí, me siento uno de los mejores momentos después que me han llamado, que estoy en Grande Liga, no tengo molestia, me siento bien, los picheos están nasty, todos los picheos, gracias a Dios. So, como dije, ya me siento bien totalmente, gracias a Dios.
I feel like I'm 100% healthy. It's been like a while that I haven't felt this good. My pitches are good. I feel good mentally, feel good physically. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Que aparte de la salud, que obviamente es importante, ¿qué otras cosas te enfocas tú, que te estás enfocando tú en
hasta atacar la zona detrás, y que lo que estuve haciendo hoy, creo que tuve más de la mitad de bateadores atacando en el primer picheo detrás y todo eso es lo que más me estaba enfocando.
I feel like today, most of the batters, I was able to get early ahead on those, and then for me that's very important because that's something that I've been working very hard to try to be aggressive in the zone, and today I feel like I was able to do that. Que si te has lesionado mucho en el pasado o si este proceso es como nuevo porque no te has lesionado mucho.
No, primera vez que estoy tanto tiempo así lesionado, he tenido molestias y cosas así, con ejercicio se van, estrechamiento, cosas así, pero primera vez que tengo una lesión así en mi carrera profesional.
It's the first time that I actually go through an injury like this. The other times it's like with a stretch or with a little bit of time they'll go away. But yeah, this is the first time that it takes me this much time to get back to the big leagues. ¿Cómo has lidiado con eso, tanto mental como físicamente, para regresar a tu 100%?
Nada, cuando me metieron a la lista de lesionados, mi mentalidad fue regresar al 100%, y eso ha sido la mentalidad. Al principio fue un poquito difícil, pero ya después cuando yo dije, bueno, tenemos buenos lanzadores, tenemos buen equipo, y tengo que llegar de una vez ready para seguir ganando juegos y mejorar mucho más el equipo, si Dios lo permite.
For me, since they told me that I was going to start the season injured list, my mentality was to attack the injury, try to get ready as soon as possible. I was very confident on my team, on the pitchers that we have up there, that they're going to do their job, so there's no need for me to hurry, just go through my process and be 100% ready, and that's what I'm doing, and I feel like that the process is paying off, and I'll be ready soon.
What are you most looking forward to about going back to the majors and back to pitching at Fenway?
¿Qué es lo que más estás esperando de regresar a las grandes ligas y de pichar otra vez en Fenway?
Nada, que las cosas salgan muy bien, por eso me están dando mi tiempo que yo pueda hacer mi trabajo aquí. Cuando yo suba allá arriba poder lanzar mis 5, 6, 7, lo que sea, pero que se trata de hacer el trabajo como es, porque tenemos un equipo que puede jugar este año los playoffs y quiero estar ready para ese entonces.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to be healthy. Looking forward that taking advantage also the time that the team is giving me to be 100% ready, because I know that this is a great team that we have, and I know that we're going to get deep into the postseason, and I want to be ready for that moment when it comes.
I have one more question. In terms of your arsenal, in the second half of the season last year, you were incorporating your fastball a lot more into your arsenal than you were in the first half of the season. Are you planning to kind of take a similar approach this year on the mound?
Sí, y este año pienso lanzar ese picheo más, porque está muy bien, lo estoy lanzando en donde tengo que lanzarlo el picheo, y este año está muchísimo mejor que el año pasado, y vamos a atacar también con ese lanzamiento.
Yeah, our plans to attack with that pitch as well. I feel like that pitch is very good right now. I feel that has improved since last year, and I think that's another weapon that we can include into my arsenal.
So as you can tell there, Brayan Bello's eager to come back. He's excited to be back on the mound at Fenway and be healthy and help this team compete. And hopefully they can start to turn the tide soon. Big win yesterday against the White Sox to avoid getting swept, which is a statement I never thought I would have to say, but pretty messy series overall for the Boston Red Sox. And coming up, I'm going to be discussing a little bit more about that. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack for busy days. Whether I'm snacking at my desk, on a road trip, or just need a quick protein boost, they're always my go-to. And if you love cracking open every shell for that satisfying crunch, the in-shell options are a classic favorite. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. These things are incredibly addicting. I promise you, the minute you buy them at the store, you won't be going back to not get them ever again. You will keep continuously purchasing these. So I highly recommend trying them. They are pretty delicious. Pretty embarrassing weekend for the Red Sox overall. They go on this road trip to Chicago after they had previously struggled against the Blue Jays at home to play a White Sox team that legitimately had lost 8 games in a row going into the series. 8 in a row. And the first game of this series between the Red Sox and the White Sox gave the White Sox just their 3rd win of the season. Absolutely messy. Red Sox dropped the first 2 and finally salvaged a win in the final game of the series thanks to Garrett Crochet, who was absolutely dominant and was cruising. He had only 1 base runner all the way up until the 8th inning, and that 1 base runner was a walk that he had given up, but for a while he was just cruising and didn't give up any base runners. So the walk happened, he continued to cruise, pitched 7 1/3 innings and gave up just 1 hit. And ironically, the guy who broke up his no-hit bid was a guy named Chase Mydroth, who was one of the players that the Red Sox actually traded to the White Sox to acquire Garrett Crochet. So that just kind of feels like a storybook narrative there of all people. The guy who the Red Sox gave away to the White Sox gave up the no-hit bid to the Red Sox ace that they got from Chicago in that deal. So no-hit bid was broken up in the 8th, and then Garrett Crochet was pulled. He threw 96 pitches in the game, and he looked very dominant. I mean, his fastball is just basically unhittable. I mean, it travels about 97 miles an hour, and it just gets tons of swings and misses on it. That run that he gave up the hit for did end up crossing the plate because Garrett Whitlock came in to pitch after Crochet was done and just finished that inning. So he just pitched 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 2 more hits in the inning and he struck out 1, but no runs were charged to him because the only run that crossed the plate was the run that Crochet was responsible for on that single earlier on in the inning. So Whitlock wasn't exactly super sharp, but was able to limit the damage, which is huge. That's what you need to do when you pitch in high leverage for the Boston Red Sox. And obviously Alex Cora sees Garrett Whitlock as a high leverage pitcher. So he had him come in and he took care of business and did what he had to do. And then they brought in Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning to close it out, got the job done there, struck out 2 in that inning. So good, solid win for the Red Sox. However, the bats are still pretty non-existent. They scored 1 run in game 1, 2 runs in game 2, and 3 runs in game 3. So in the entirety of a series against the White Sox of all teams, the Red Sox are only able to score 6 runs total. I mean, that's pretty pathetic. The offensive effort overall has not been there. And one of the biggest things to note about Sunday's game, the series finale in which the Red Sox avoided getting swept by this putrid White Sox team, was that Trevor Story crushed a home run in the 9th inning for an insurance run. The Red Sox had a 2-1 lead that they were hanging on to by a thread. And then he crushed that solo home run to not only give the Red Sox an insurance run, but also give the Red Sox their first home run that was hit in legitimately a week. The last time they had hit a home run was on Sunday Night Baseball against the Cardinals at home. So it's crazy to me that an entire week passed where they hadn't hit a home run. So hopefully Trevor Story hitting that home run can fuel the rest of the offense to get going again, because the overall approach at the plate continues to be very bad. And I have preached this for so long. I talked on the show earlier on in the season in the first week that the hitting coach, Pete Fatsi, needs to go. The overall approach by everybody is bad, and it results in a ton of strikeouts. The Red Sox have way too many strikeouts as a team. 11 in game 1 of the series in total strikeouts for the team, 11 in game 2 also. And then in game 3, the Red Sox had just 7 strikeouts as a team. I mean, that's impressive considering that it's usually double digits, but just tons of swings and misses. And it just feels like the approach at the plate for everybody is to be too selective and look for certain pitches. And it's really not been as effective as the Red Sox want it to be. So my question is, how long is this going to go on for before that they realize there's a coaching problem here? And that's what's really frustrating, because I feel like this offense could be better and they could be elevated, but it's not sustainable for an offense to put together what the Red Sox offense is putting together right now and be able to win in the long run, because that's leaving very little room for error for your pitchers every single night. And that's just not fair, because there are going to be nights where the pitchers don't have it and the offense needs to be able to step up. And the Red Sox offense just has not been able to step up lately. Too many swings and misses, too much overthinking at the plate, and not enough attacking that strike zone. So definitely want to see some change there. And obviously the defensive miscues continue to be a huge issue for this Boston Red Sox team. That was a big storyline in this series, especially in game 1 of the series. The Red Sox committed 5 errors on Friday night. 5. That's a lot of errors for one game. Now, granted, a couple of those were catcher's interference, which obviously those should be avoided too. And so far, every single catcher that has been on the Red Sox Major League roster this season has had a problem with catcher's interference, and they've been called for it. Connor Wong, that's how he ended up on the injured list, was when he got called for catcher's interference. Carlos Narvaez and Blake Sabol, all of them have been called for catcher's interference. That needs to adjust itself ASAP. And then they just have the other fielding errors. I mean, throwing errors by Alex Bregman and Trevor Story. Rafaela misplaying a ball in the outfield. Tristan Casas not being able to scoop up a ball that's thrown to him. It's just too many errors and miscues, and it's leading to free runs for the other team. And what's been unfortunate about it is on Friday night, that was not the first time that we saw an inning that should have been over, but it got extended because of the Red Sox defensive miscues, and then it ended up leading to the inning continuing for much longer than it should have, and everything unravels, and the other team scores multiple runs in the inning. That has been happening way too often this year. And when asked about the concerns with the defense, Alex Cora kind of said, this is a talented group of defenders. I mean, the Red Sox lead the league in double plays turned this year so far, which obviously is a promising thing moving forward, but you have to be able to make the routine plays and you can't rush your throws. You need to be able to scoop up baseballs, even if it's a relatively bad throw to you. I mean, Tristan Casas has to be able to be a little bit more mobile in that regard too, but it's everybody's fault in reality at the end of the day. Christian Campbell has had his defensive blunders. I'm not sold on his defense yet. Granted, he's still young, so he still has more time, but the Red Sox brought in Alex Bregman and Trevor Story, two of the best defenders in the sport right now. I don't think anybody can argue that. Alex Bregman coming off of winning a Gold Glove at third base. You bring in those two players to play shortstop and third, and they are facilitating errors on a regular basis. I mean, that's definitely not what the Red Sox were hoping to get out of this. And I'm so tired of the constant errors that are translating immediately to runs for the other team. It's not fair for the pitching staff to have to drag out innings because the defense behind them is doing nothing to help them. It really, really agitates me. And then the Red Sox on Saturday, haven't even talked much about that game, but they got walked off 3-2 final. This is exactly why you score more runs in games, because the Red Sox were only able to score 2 runs and the White Sox walked it off and won 3-2. Aroldis Chapman blew the save, so he took the loss in that game. Surprisingly, the Red Sox made no fielding errors in that game. So that was a breath of fresh air. That was nice to see. However, only salvaged 7 hits as a team. What was really frustrating about that game was the White Sox only had 4 hits. The pitching was very good on Saturday night. And one of the most frustrating things about that was when the Red Sox get a really good start from the pitcher on the mound, and then the offense just cannot support them after that, and it just escalates. And that's exactly what happened on Saturday. And then when you look at Sunday, the Red Sox also didn't commit any errors. So it's like, why can't they play that clean of baseball every single time? Because that game on Friday night, in which the White Sox won 11-1, by the way, so not a pretty score, that score looks a lot worse because of the errors. It wasn't like it was just the pitching that was completely getting lit up. Now, granted, their pitching staff didn't have their best stuff that night either. I mean, Sean Newcomb started the game through 4 innings, giving up 6 hits and 2 earned runs. Want to know the crazy thing about that, though? He gave up 6 total runs, but only 2 of them were earned. That's because his defense behind him let him down, and it is what it is. Josh Winkowski came in and threw 3 innings, giving up 4 hits and 3 runs, but 2 of those were earned. Then Brennan Bernardino came in and threw 1 inning, giving up 2 hits and 2 runs, but only 1 of those was earned. So at the end of the day, the Red Sox gave up 5 earned runs in the game, but the White Sox came across the plate to score 11 runs. That is just completely unacceptable to me, and that's just something that cannot happen, and they will not win games that way. And it just really irks me that the infield defense is still a problem. And perhaps, again, maybe it's a reflection of coaching once again, and they need to make some organizational changes. That's a thought. Maybe the Red Sox should think about it, because it honestly is getting to be so incredibly frustrating having to watch them try to be competent on defense all the time and it not working. Another thing that's definitely concerning coming out of this series was that one of the best starting pitchers that the Red Sox have had so far this season is now on the injured list. Going to be discussing that a little bit next. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized just how much I was spending on food delivery. Now I budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off your first year. It's really nice and comforting to be able to know and control your finances. So definitely take advantage of Monarch Money today, because the last thing you want is to be in a panic of what happened to your money. So definitely check that out today. Rough series over the weekend for the Red Sox, as they could not get much of anything going offensively in general. Still can't come through with runners on base, no less in scoring position. And the fielding errors continue to pile up for Boston. But one game in the series that looked like it could have been promising and looked like the Red Sox could have gotten a win was Saturday's game, when they lost 3-2 against the White Sox. And a big reason why they were in that game was because of starting pitcher Richard Fitts. He threw 5 innings, giving up 2 hits and no runs, walked 1 and struck out 5. And he pitched into the 6th inning, but immediately once he hit 76 pitches, he started pointing to his shoulder and he looked like he was in a lot of pain. So Alex Cora and a trainer came out onto the field instantly, but it was a flip of a switch. It was very quick. He was throwing and he was fine. And then all of a sudden he felt pain, and then he just got pulled from the game at that point. And then Zach Kelly came in, didn't have it, pitched 1 2/3, giving up 1 hit and 2 earned runs, walking 1 and striking out 3. So he ruined Richard Fitz's beautiful start after that. Unfortunate, because Fitz probably could have pitched a lot longer and deeper into the game because he was only at 76 pitches. So that was definitely disappointing. And that isn't the first start that he has had for the Red Sox that was impressive. His 3 starts that he has made for the Red Sox overall this season have been impressive. And he has been, besides Garrett Crochet, the other starter this season so far that the Red Sox have been able to rely on the most. And I really like the stuff that he has produced. He has a 3.18 ERA over those first 3 starts in 17 innings pitched. Now, all of the rotation absences that the Red Sox had between Lucas Giolito, Brayan Bello, and Cutter Crawford, that opened the door for him to join the starting 5 in the first place, as he won the job with an impressive spring training. And then he just continued to carry that over, which we really liked. But after he got pulled from the game on Saturday, he was placed on the 15-day injured list with a right pectoral strain. To fill his spot, the club selected right-handed pitcher Michael Fulmer to the active Major League roster from AAA Worcester. Fulmer will wear number 51, and the 40-man roster is now at 40. So Fulmer will take Fitz's place. Who knows how long it will be for? Likely not very long. Maybe 1 start, because of the fact that Brayan Bello and Lucas Giolito are both close to coming back. Now, who is Michael Fulmer? He began his big league career as a starter with the Tigers in 2016 and enjoyed immediate success as the AL Rookie of the Year. An all-star season in 2017 further seemed to cement his place as a big part of Detroit's future, though his production took a step back in 2018 and he missed all of 2019 recovering from Tommy John surgery. Fulmer struggled in his return to the Tigers rotation in 2020, but then transitioned to relief pitching and seemed to find a second wind to his career. Over 190 in a third innings from 2021 to 23. He worked as a reliever for 172 of his 177 games with the Tigers, Twins, and Cubs, and delivered a 3.55 ERA, 24.6% strikeout rate, and 9.4% walk rate. So once he started pitching in relief, he found a lot more success post Tommy John. A return to rotation work in the context of Fulmer's past struggles and his long injury layoff may seem unusual, but Craig Breslow said that the team was viewing him as a possible candidate for at least bulk innings, if not a full starting job, even before signing him to the minor league deal that they did. So it'll be interesting to see how he's deployed now that he's part of the 26-man roster, and whether or not Alex Cora could get creative with him in a variety of roles to best maximize his potential, because obviously the need right now is starting pitching. So that's why I do feel like ultimately he may make a start for the Red Sox, but they may not have high hopes for him in that regard. But what they can do, though, is even if he does make a start to help fill that void until Bello and or Giolito come back. They could switch him to relief after that and keep him around. If they like his stuff and they think he'd be better suited as a reliever, then he could replace somebody who's been struggling this year in relief, and it gives the Red Sox that flexibility. It seemed inevitable that an IL stint was coming for Richard Fitz, given how he abruptly left the game. So I'm sure the Red Sox were already in talks immediately at that point about why it made sense to bring Fulmer up. So I'm hoping that Fulmer finds success here. And I'm also hoping that it's a quick recovery for Fitz and that he isn't out for very long, because it's just been so many injuries to this Red Sox rotation. And I just want people to be healthy, and especially a guy like him who consistently was putting together impressive starts. I just hope that this IL stint doesn't last for a very long time and that he's able to come back sooner rather than later, because I definitely want him to be part of this rotation again. So let's get everybody healthy and let's start winning some baseball games and getting back on track, because the early going here has not treated the Red Sox well. But again, it's only mid-April, still so much more time left in the season. So hopefully the Red Sox can turn it around. Thank you for tuning into Locked On Red Sox and making it your first listen today. For your second listen, check out all the new Locked On MLB Game Night episodes. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. It's a great time recording with everybody, and it will keep you up to date on all the games going on across Major League Baseball. So make sure that you check that out. Like I always say, keep the faith, go Red Sox, and I'll catch you on the flip side.